Learning to see negative shape. Here's a simple composition, a circle in the center of your monitor. There are relationships that this circle has to the edges of your monitor. When we are usually creating a composition, we're creating it on a format. This is important because negative shape is based on the format. The negative shape are the relationships between the subject matter and the edges of the format. As the circle is moved, new shapes are created. Here's an example of the 3 different shapes that were created by moving the circle around. Here are some questions that you can ask yourself about negative shape. What shapes do you see created between the subject and the format? And what relationships do you see between the subject and the format? Let's look at a couple of different examples. Here's a painting from Edgar Degas. Let's isolate the dancers, and then what's left over is the negative shape. And the negative shape has relationships to the edges and from one shape to the next. Here is a painting by Vincent van Gogh. If we isolate the shape and look at the negative shape that's created, we also have relationships between the top, bottom, and sides. And we also get something new here. Do you notice in the lower left there's a little shape between the paintbrushes in his hand and palette, I believe, that makes an interesting shape. In this shape, the banjo player, let's identify the subject matter, and then we have the negative shape. And on this one, I want you to pay attention specifically to the shapes that are created between the legs of the chair and the legs of the model in the background. This creates interest and helps connect the background to the subject. So what we've learned in learning to see negative shapes today is that the questions to ask yourself so that you can learn to see is, what shapes do you see created between the subject and the format? And what relationships do you see between the subject and the format?